one of the disincentives of long-term planning is really the lack of instant gratification, right? I mean, that when we talk about feeling like you're on a treadmill, some of that has to do with the decision making that we're doing, right? I mean, I would just I just bought a shirt on Facebook last night, or through Facebook. I think about all those ads that are coming up when you see Facebook now, and now that I've bought that shirt, it was like a American Revolutionary type shirt, right? Now every history related T-shirt company that ever existed is on my Facebook feed, and that. I don't know that it's ever been harder, guys, to really delay gratification.
Well, delayed gratification is a lost art. The people who we work with today saved and scrimped and put money away and did whatever they had to do to get the wealth that they have today. And it doesn't happen overnight. There is no stock that you're going to go buy that is going to make you a millionaire. Now, you can hear stories about that, but those things don't happen on a regular. They just don't. And so you've got to understand that it does take discipline and some delayed gratification in the vein that we're talking about here to say, I am going to put off the small win today so I can get that big win in the future.
Guys, I've got college on the brain these days because my son is my son's getting acceptance letters and that kind of stuff. It's just kind of all coming in at this point. But this makes me think about in his college planning, and there's a parallel for retirement, but it's easier for us to see as parents. It's easier for us to see these things in our children. But when you think about these incentives and instant gratification on any given day, it is way more pleasant for my son to sit down and play a game on the computer rather than doing his homework assignment. It may be a small assignment, it may be a big one, doesn't matter. At this point, his GPA is like dancing on the borderline of where he needs to be. And so if he seeks that instant gratification rather than the long-term planning, rather than focusing on, man, I'm going to give up playing on the computer tonight so that I can get this work done, so that I can keep my GPA where it needs to be, so that I can get a scholarship, and that line of conversation just goes on out. And what's the parallel for you? What are you choosing to do that's easy and comfortable and rewarding and gratifying right now that really maybe you ought to think about your future self and say, you know what, I don't have to do that right now because I want to be able to do these other things in the future.
But at the same time, you have to give yourself a little outlet, right?
Yes,
you
absolutely.
Need a
There's
little
gotta be
fun
balance.
money.
Yeah.
That's right. It's just, I call it planned spontaneity.
Yes.
Right? You have some cash set aside to whatever I wake up and feel like doing. That's what it's there for. It has a purpose, just like your budget has a purpose, and you don't go outside of that. I think that's why it's very difficult. We talked about the FIRE movement on this show before, the retiring early. That's very difficult to do for many reasons. On the back end, you have to live so long without a paycheck, but to get there, you have to always, constantly deprive yourself of instant gratification and never have that outlet. Very difficult to do.